And then right as I came in, I found out they had these. So naturally, I had to buy them. Another week, another trip to Value Pawn. So let's see if we can find anything good for cheap this week. Let's go. So they did have a decent amount of new games in there. I actually grabbed a 4-pack of them. But again, they were just asking for too much. They weren't horrible prices when you consider, but most of them I was getting to flip and they just weren't worth that. I did pick up one game. I'm pretty sure it's worth a decent amount of trade-in. I have to take a look after, but the last time I traded it was worth a pretty good amount. WWE 2K20 on the Xbox One. They only wanted $5 for this. Originally I wanted $6 and I talked it down to $5. Should be an easy flip, or worst comes to worst, it might be a good one for our bad game series, because we know this game's bad, so we'll see what happens. But yeah, just one game today. Nothing crazy, but you know, sometimes that's how it is. All right, so I just arrived home from my trip to Value Pawn and was greeted by another package from Gamestop. And yes, once again, I took advantage of the 5 for 50. So in addition to my one game that I picked up at Value Pawn, I also got 5 more games from GameStop. Now, when I cracked open the package, pre-opened it, I did notice one of the games is in its proper case. I don't know about the rest though. So I'll pull out the one that I know is in the right case. Digimon Story Cyber Sleuth. I've wanted to pick this game up for a while. Originally I wanted to pick this up on the Switch, which has been on sale a few times. I never quite do it when it's on sale, so this time I figured, well, it's part of the 5 for 50, might as well grab it on PS4. So another Digimon game. Hopefully it's good. I haven't even played the last one I got, so we'll see what happens. All right, next one. Yes, Wild Guns Reloaded on the Switch. It looks like it's a tactical RPG, like action game maybe? I don't know, it looks fun. It's a remake of a classic game series. It looks pretty enjoyable. It was a $20 Switch game that I paid $10 for. So, pretty excited to try that out. It's always nice to add additional games to the Switch collection. Next up, another complete game. All right, we have Override 2 Super Mech League for the Xbox Series X. So this is a next-gen game that I paid $18 for. I wonder if it has all the stuff. Doesn't look like it does, unless it's on the disc, but it looks like a mech combat game. It looks pretty fun. I've seen this in a few different stores. I figured I'd try it when the price came down, and I mean, $10, absolutely. So we're 3 for 3 on complete games. Let's see, number 4, another one, perfect. Now, I mean, you might be a little surprised by this one because I just traded in one of the games, and I traded in this exact game like a week or two before, but on a different platform. So I decided to get it again in complete form. We have Lego Marvel Collection on the Xbox One. So this has Lego Marvel Superheroes, Lego Avengers, and Lego Marvel Superheroes 2. So 3 Lego games on one collection. Pretty excited to have it. Nice addition to the collection. Last but certainly not least, we have 5 for 5, ladies and gentlemen. This one I'm pretty excited for because I've heard really good things about it. Never played it when it came out originally, and I'm excited to play it now. Dragon Crown Pro on the PS4. So this is a PS2 game. Came out a long time ago from Atlas, and they've remade it for the PS4. Looks pretty, and the Vita, I believe. But it looks pretty fun. Again, it's a game that I don't think you're gonna find that often. I figure, well, might as well pick it up for the right price. Very impressed, GameStop. Not only that, but I also got all these games like a couple days after I ordered it. I think I ordered them on Sunday or Monday, and it's Wednesday, and I already got them. So, good job, GameStop. I picked up 5 games. They're all complete. They're all in really nice shape. Cannot be happier. All right, well, I'm at GameStop because they have a 5 for 50 deal going on, and I have some games to trade in that'll get me almost there. So let's see what I get, see what I can pick up. All right, so that was a pretty successful trip. So if you don't know, as of the week of this recording, GameStop is currently doing a promo where you can pick out 5 games priced at $20 or less and get them for $10 each. So that's a pretty solid deal, and I had a good amount of stuff that I already had to trade in, plus 2 rewards. So I figured, you know what, let's do that. And let's throw in a couple extra games that are doubles in my collection. And when I say doubles, I mean I have them on multiple platforms. So I figured I'll trade in one of them so that I still have the game, so it's no big deal. I got a total of 6 games, all for basically free after trade-in. So I'm pretty happy with these pickups. It was a little tough to find enough games to meet the quota. I think I picked pretty solid ones though. First off, we have Broken Sword 5 on the Switch. I know nothing about it. I mostly picked it up because it was a $20 Switch game. Sounds interesting, so here it is, Broken Sword 5 on the Switch. Next one, and this one I have heard of. It sounds really wild, and I'm excited to try it. Metal Wolf Chaos XD. This is a game that came out a long time ago that was brought back out on the PS4. Essentially, it's like a mech game made by From Software where you get to play as the president. It sounds super wacky and wild, and I'm excited to pick it up. This was the lowest priced one in the lot. It's normally $15, but I got it for $10. So nice little addition to the collection. Next up, I have the second one, so I figured might as well get the first one. We have Dragon Quest Heroes on the PS4. This is the Dragon Quest Musou game. Basically, it's a Dynasty Warriors type hack and slash. I got 2 from a pawn shop for $5, so I figured, you know, let's get the first one and complete the set. Next, we have God Eater 3 on the PS4. Another game I don't know a whole lot about, but it sounds pretty interesting. Apparently, it's got multiplayer. I looked at this game for a while on the Switch, but the PS4 copy was in the price range for the deal, so I grabbed it on PS4. This one I was excited about because I've been looking to pick it up for a while, again, to kind of complete my collection currently. And it was on sale, so it actually met the criteria. And that is the Dark Pictures Anthology Little Hope, the second Dark Pictures Anthology game. I already have Man of Medan on Xbox, so now I have the second one. Normally it's $27, but it's on sale this week for $17, so it qualified for the deal. And then last but certainly not least, I had 2 rewards I wanted to use. And I figured, well, let's just pick up a $10 game for free. Might as well. So I looked at the retro games, and I picked up a game that I never actually owned when I originally had a Wii U, and could get it for free. Splatoon, the original Splatoon on the Wii U. Might as well add another first-party Nintendo game to my collection, especially because it was $10 and I paid nothing for it. So overall, 6 games, all of which look pretty interesting. I think they're all solid pickups. And I think when I take a look at the value of each one, they're definitely going to be an improvement on what I traded in. So pretty happy with what I got. So yeah, that's my first little game hunting adventure today and of the week. So let's see what else we do. Well, I'm over here, so let's go check out Cash America, see if they have anything good. All right, so I got 4 games for $25, which is pretty good. It's a little more than I normally like to pay, but considering what I got, I think I did well. All of them are to flip at GameStop except for one, which I'm probably going to keep just because I've never had a game in that series and I've heard it's a very good one. So I'll show you those when I get to the bus stop. But let's just say with the trade-in bonus the GameStop's currently doing, I should make a pretty sizable profit on all of these. They're all double ups, so pretty happy with that. Anyway, I'm gonna head over to Value Pawn real quick. Probably won't spend long in there, but I'll take a look around, see if there's anything good. All right, quick trip to Value Pawn. Let's see if they've got anything good. Last time I struck gold, so maybe I'll get lucky again. Let's do it. All right, so I was going to do a recap when I was out, but literally as soon as I pulled up to the bus stop, a random person decided to come by. So rather than dealing with that, I just decided I'd do it at home. So I did pretty well. I got a total of 6 games, and the vast majority of these I got to flip. However, there's a couple I'm gonna keep, and I'll point those out when I get there. The main reason why I got so many games to flip is because A, they were good deals, and B, GameStop is currently doing a deal where if you trade in a PS4, Xbox One, Next Gen, or Switch game, you get an additional $5 in credit as long as it's worth at least 5. All of these are worth more than 5. And some I did well on. I doubled every one, and even one I tripled on because I got it for a sneaky good deal. So we're gonna start off with Cash America, and their stock was a little low this week. There wasn't a whole lot of decent stuff. There were a couple games that I thought about grabbing because they weren't there normally, but I passed because they were worth less than $5, and neither were really games I was particularly interested in playing. So I picked up 4 games. 3 of them I'm gonna flip, and 1 of them I'm going to keep and add to the collection. So first off, we have South Park: The Stick of Truth on the PS4. I have this game on Xbox, and it's a great game, but I don't need a PS4 copy because I already have it on Xbox. It is in pretty good shape. I only paid $5 for it, and it is worth 10 in trade-in, so solid. And yes, I already know the trade-in values for all these, so I'll just go over the trade-in value now. The games I'm gonna keep, I'll save the final value until the final recap, but pretty solid. Next, we have Medieval on the PS4. Now, as you can see, this one's kind of in a weird case. It's like a full DVD case, but the cover art is correct. It's got the manual. No, it doesn't have there's no manual. And the disc is correct. So everything here is exactly how it's supposed to be. It's just in a weird case. Again, $5 for this. It's worth $10.50 in trade, so another double up. Very easy. This was the one that as soon as I saw it, I'm like, I have to at least find out how much they're asking for. And the good news is because of the promo, I can double up on it very easily. UFC 4 on the PS4. I've already traded this game in. It still holds a lot of value. It's worth like $16 in trade-in. With the promo, it's worth 21, and I only paid 10 for it out of pocket, so solid pickup there. The last game, and this one I mostly picked up on a whim because the disc is in pretty good shape. I thought it had more value than it did. It doesn't have a ton of value, but it's a well-respected franchise, and I figured, you know what, might as well have it to add to the collection. Fight Night Round 4 on the Xbox 360. It's in a complete 360 case. The disc is in pretty good shape. It's a little scratched, so I'm probably going to run it through my resurfacer just to make sure it works perfectly, but it definitely looks playable. It's got a few scuffs here and there. Paid $5, which is a little more than I normally wanted to pay, but they very quickly were like, hey, we'll do 25 out the door. So I just paid 25 flat. Don't worry about tax or anything. That's all included. So I'm like, yeah, why not? So 5 for this. I think it's worth like $8, so it's not worth a ton, but it's worth something. And then here are the 2 I picked up at Value Pawn, and these I did surprisingly well on. The first game I was originally gonna try to get to flip, but I thought about it more and like, yeah, I could basically get my money back for it, or I could keep it. And this is a fun game, so I'm like, you know what? It's a complete Switch game that I paid not a whole lot of money for, so might as well keep it. Team Sonic Racing on the Switch. They only wanted, it's kind of cut off, they only wanted 15 for it, which is kind of low for a Switch game. Usually pawn shops ask for like 20 and 25 at least for Switch games. So the fact that they only wanted 15 for this one, I'm like, okay, sure. It is complete, it's got everything on it, chip looks good. So I figured, you know, for $15, worth a pickup. So I'm gonna keep this one. And then the last one, again, because, you know, I'm nosy, I was taking a look at some of the stuff behind the counter, one of the glass cases, and there's just a random disc sitting there, face down, so I couldn't tell what it was, and I asked him, hey, what's that random disc? And he pulled it up, and I asked him, well, how much do you want for it? And he's like, oh, I'll give it to you for $5. I'm like, sold. Jedi Fallen Order, PS4. I've traded this game in several times. I thought it was only worth like $5, but apparently it's gone up in value randomly, which games do that sometimes, especially at Gamestop, where like out of the blue, the price will just shoot up. Right now, before the promo, it's worth $11 in trade-in. With the promo, it's worth 16. So I tripled my money on that one. So overall, a nice little bundle of games. Most of them are going to be flipped, but I picked up 2 to add to the collection. I'm pretty happy with those. And then I picked up 4 that I can at least double, if not triple my money on. So solid, quick trip to the pawns. All right, last stop of the week is GameStop, where I'm going to trade in some of the games I picked up at pawn shops and some games that I have in my collection I just don't need anymore. Come away with a nice bundle of stuff. Let's go. All right, so as you can see, I'm back in my apartment, mostly because pretty much as soon as I got there, the bus pulled up, and then there was a rainstorm, so I did not have time to do a recap after GameStop, but I did very well. So all the stuff I traded in, which was the stuff I got from the pawn shop, plus a couple extra games, BK20, which I finally did a worst games episode on, which you can check out in the channel. Hopefully by the time this comes out, maybe not. I did trade in Fast and Furious Crossroads since we finished the game, and I don't really see myself ever playing that game again. And then I traded in Madden, again, Mostly because the new one's coming out, so what's the point in having Madden 21 if I'm just gonna get Madden 22? So I just traded that in and got a good amount of credit for it. All in all, I got $124. That also includes my black Series X controller. And the reason why I traded that in is because I have a new controller I'm gonna pick up, which is that Aqua Shift controller. It looks kind of iridescent. It's really nice looking. So I pre-ordered that and I picked up some more stuff. And originally I was gonna like hold on to the credit because I didn't see anything I super needed. And then right as I came in, I found out they had these. So naturally I had to buy them. The Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword Joy-Cons from Nintendo for the Switch. I wanted these from the get-go as soon as they announced them because these are by far the coolest looking Joy-Cons out there. Didn't have the money when Skyward Sword came out, and they were kind of off and on, like somewhat hard to find. So I wasn't sure when or if I would ever pick them up. Since I had a lot of credit, I figured, you know what, this is as good a time as ever, especially since they have them. And what's crazy is these are actually going for like $179 online, and I paid nothing because of credit. Retail for $80, but I paid nothing, which is cool. And I thought that would be the end of it. But then I looked around the game section and I saw a game that I don't know much about. It looks cool. And I figured, you know what? Why not? It looks interesting. We have Necrozma Hired Gun. It's a first-person shooter set in the Warhammer universe. Necromunda, sorry. And it looks pretty interesting. I don't know much about it. It got like kind of middling reviews, but it does look cool. So I figured interesting, and it's brand new. What's funny is I tried to look up how much this game is going for on various price charting. Nobody has listings for it. I think the app that I use only has it listed on PS5, and then price charting itself doesn't have it listed at all. So I don't know if this is a super uncommon game. It might be, but I have it on Xbox. It was $40 in credit. I think I paid a total of 88 cents out of pocket, but not bad. So yes, I spent all my credit, but the positive thing is now I have an extra set of Joy-Cons I don't need because I have my regular red Joy-Cons that I use on my Switch, and then I also have a backup set of gray Joy-Cons that I had in case people wanted to play Mario Party or a multiplayer game. Now I can trade those in because my red ones are now my backups and these are going to be my main ones. And Joy-Cons are worth a pretty good amount in trading as well. They're worth like 20 bucks each. So I can trade those in and all of a sudden I have another $40 in credit. So pretty happy. So definitely a solid time at GameStop. Now let's get to the final week recap and we'll go over everything that I picked up over the week. All right, so now it's time to go through the full recap. And I already talked about some of the values of these games, so we're gonna kind of quickly snap through these. We're going to start with my physical GameStop pickups. First batch that I got for the 5 for $50 deal. First game on the list is Dragon Quest Heroes on the PS4. I got this mostly because I have the second one, so might as well have the first one. Paid $10 for this. It's worth $13. Solid pickup. Next up, we have Dark Pictures Anthology Little Hope, the second Dark Pictures Anthology game available. I picked this up for $10 as well, and it is worth $19, so another solid bundle. This one was actually on sale, so I got it for cheaper than GameStop normally sells it, and then it was part of the 5 for $50, so it's been better than that, so solid pickup there. Next, we have God Eater 3 on the PS4. I don't know much about this game. It looks cool, very anime looking. Might as well pick it up. Paid $10, it's worth $16. By the way, I am saying values, but all of these were picked up with credit, so I didn't actually pay any money for these. These were all credit from a previous trade-in. All right, next we have Metal Wolf Chaos XD. I'm excited to try this because it's like a really ridiculous mech game with a crazy story. And it's made by From Software, so that's kind of cool. Paid credit or $10, it's worth 18. Next, we have a Switch game, Broken Sword 5 on the Switch. Don't know much about it. Sounds interesting. Paid $10. It is worth 20. And then the last game I picked up from the in-person GameStop lot, the first one, we have Splatoon on the Wii U, my second physical Wii U game that I picked up for my eventual Wii U when I get it. Paid nothing for that because that was a reward. It's worth $12. So that entire stack of games I paid nothing out of pocket for. It was all paid for with rewards and with trading credit. So score there. All right, now we got the Gamestop.com order. So I got another 5 games from that. And these are all pretty solid too. I definitely think the Gamestop.com order is a little bit stronger in terms of the titles, but you know, I'm still pretty proud of them. First up, we have Wild Guns Reloaded on the Switch, another Switch game. It looks interesting. I'm excited to try it out. I've heard of the Wild Gun series. I haven't played any of them though. Paid 10, worth 21. Next, we have Override 2 on the Xbox Series X, a next-gen game that I got for 10 bucks essentially. Paid 10, this is worth 26. So I believe this one was also on sale on GameStop's website, which brought it to underneath the $20 threshold. So that's why I picked that up. Next one, Lego Marvel Collection on the Xbox One. As you know, I already traded this game in to GameStop on PS4, and I also recently traded in Lego Marvel Superheroes on Xbox One. Now I have all 3 of these games. I've never owned Avengers or Marvel Superheroes 2. So now I own all 3 of them and on my preferred platform. Paid 10 for this. It is worth 13. So this is the least valuable out of all the games I picked up in this lot, but still not bad at all. Next up, Digimon Story Cyber Sleuth, another Digimon game. Pretty excited to play this. Now I have 2 different Digimon games on the PS4 that I need to try out. 10 bucks, worth 19. Solid value. Last but certainly not least, another game that I've heard about for a while and I'm pretty excited to try out, especially now that I can play it on the PS4. We have Dragon's Crown Pro on the PS4. It's a remake of the PS2 game. Looks pretty fun. Paid 10, worth 17. All right, next we're gonna go to our pawn shop pickups. Picked up a bunch of games from pawn shops, and I traded in the vast majority of them, along with a couple other games. I did trade in every game that I got at the pawn shop except for 2. I also traded in Madden 21 again, and yes, I know I just bought that game again. But the main reason why I traded in is, first of all, I doubled my money instantly. Second of all, Madden 22 is coming out in like a week. So if I'm gonna play a Madden game, I might as well just have 22, or I was gonna get it anyway because Tom Brady's on the cover, so I kind of obligated to. And then I also traded in Fast and Furious Crossroads because I finished it, and I traded in WWE 2K20, which I bought to trade it anyway, so worked out. And I got, along with trading in my Xbox Series X Carbon Black controller, which I traded in because there's a new controller coming out at the end of the month that I really want because it's like a iridescent aqua blue. It looks really cool, so I'm getting that. But I got $124 in credit. But here are the 2 games that I kept from the pawn shop pickups. And essentially all the games I got, I paid $45 out of pocket. And I got way more than that in trading credit. So essentially these 2 are free, essentially, based on the value that I got from GameStop. We have Team Sonic Racing on the Switch. Picked this up from Value Pawn. I only paid 15 bucks for a Switch game, which is pretty rare. And this is a decent multiplayer racing game. So I figured why not, especially for 15 bucks for a complete Switch game. And it's worth 15. So I basically paid what it's worth. I'll take that. Pretty happy with it. And then the only other game I kept was from Cash America, and that is Fight Night Round 4 on the Xbox 360. I mostly just picked this one up on a whim because it's a game that I knew had a little bit of value. It doesn't have a ton, but I think it'd be kind of a fun game to play. I did resurface it. It looks pretty good now. So now I have Fight Night Round 4 on the Xbox 360. Paid $5 for that. It is worth 8. Last 2 items are the ones that I got with my trading credit. So I did put $5 down on that controller pre-order. And then I picked up 2 items, and the 2 items I picked up are pretty awesome. So first off, I got Necromunda Hired Gun on the Xbox Series X. I don't know much about this game. Apparently it is a first-person shooter set in the Warhammer universe. I did try a little bit of it just because I was curious. It's pretty fun. It reminds me very much of Doom 2016, very fast-paced at run and gun, but it got some RPG elements in it too, which is cool. So I actually think this is going to be a pretty fun game to play. I paid full price, which is 40 bucks for this. And what's interesting is no website has accurate value for this, because price charting doesn't even list it. And then the app that I use only lists the PS5 version, not the Xbox version, and it doesn't list a value. So I'm gonna give it a value of 40 bucks because that's what I paid. That's the, I mean, it's a new game. It came out like maybe a week or two ago at most. But it's interesting how this has no value on any of the websites, but maybe that means it's gonna be a low print run, and I have one. And then the big dog, this was the biggest score of the whole week. Not only because I really wanted them, but also because they're valuable, very valuable. The Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword Joy-Cons on the Switch. I actually have them on my Switch right now. I, in hindsight, probably should have had that so I could show you what they look like on my Switch. They're pretty sick looking, but I mean, I have the box. These are awesome. They're really cool looking. I also like the fact that the wrist straps are different. They're like kind of a rope style. They definitely look higher quality than most of the wrist straps for Joy-Cons. So this was an absolute score. As soon as I saw the GameStop had this in stock and I had a ton of credit, I'm like, well, obviously I have to pick these up. And the best part about it is now that I have these, I don't need my regular gray Joy-Cons. So I'm gonna trade those in and get around 40 bucks extra credit. So essentially I only paid 40 for these and it was entirely out of credit. So that's a score. The biggest thing though about these, which is interesting, I paid credit, but it was 80 bucks. These are worth $179 in complete form. Not even brand new, complete form, which means you have all the stuff and the box, which I have. So these hold a lot of value, at least right now. And I have a hunch that if I continue to hold on to this, especially the box, but continue to hold on to these, they're gonna have a pretty solid amount of value in the future. Not that I want to get rid of them, because these are by far the coolest looking Joy-Cons out there right now, but still. So pretty happy with that. I got some brand new Joy-Cons to make my Switch look awesome. I got a new game. It's pretty fun, looks solid. And I put a pre-order down on another new controller for my Xbox Series X that is gonna be pretty sweet. So overall, pretty solid week, pretty happy with all of the stuff that I got. And I think I got a nice batch of pickups to add to the collection and had a pretty insane value boost. Just wait till you see that number at the end. Anyway, that's gonna do it for this episode of the Bargain Game Hunter. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. If you're new around here, please be sure to hit the subscribe button and click that notification bell. That way you know when new videos drop. This series, of course, airs on Mondays, and then the rest of the week on Wednesdays and Fridays. We have various gaming series, so be sure to check them out. They're all pretty awesome. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I will see you next week on the Bargain Game Hunter. Bye-bye.